Reid Hoffman was born on August 5, 1967, to Deanna Ruth and William Parker Hoffman in Berkeley, California. Reid's parents and grandparents were academics and were apt to reading voraciously. Reid's uncle was the famous writer Eric Hoffman. Reid's background colored his interest in books and all things intellectual as a child. He was relatively privileged and received the best form of education available in California at the time. Reid also loved a lot of table games, and his parents' resources made it possible for him to have all the table games he wanted as a child. His interest in games made him take on the job of an editor at a games company called Chalcyon. He learned valuable life lessons about entrepreneurship by working with this company. Reid attended high school at the Putney School, where he learned other ways of earning a living like farming of maple syrup and rearing of oxen. Reid knew at a young age that he was cut out for a life of entrepreneurship, hence his interest in various means of earning a living. He was a brilliant student and was always tops in his academics. This earned him the admiration of the teachers. Upon graduating high school, Reid gained admission into Stanford University. While in school, he was convinced that he would influence the world on a large scale. Because of his background, he initially believed he would leave his mark on the academic world, but later gave some thought to entrepreneurship, as owning a business would allow him maximize his potential and give him a bigger platform. Reid attained a BS in Cognitive Science and Symbolic Systems. In the year 1990, he went on to earn an MSc in Philosophy from Wolfson College. All was going well for Reid. He fulfilled his parents' expectation by excelling in his academics and always outdoing his peers. He got his first job in a winery. Years later, he got another job in the employ of Apple Computers. His aim of doing this job was to have the requisite experience to pursue his entrepreneurial goals. Working with Apple Computers also afforded him insight into the creation of social networks. When the time was right, Reid quit his job and built eWorld, a social network that achieved mediocre success and was later bought by another company. Reid founded another social network called SocialNet. It was an online dating and networking site. Reid channeled all his time and resources into SocialNet, but to his dismay, the site was a complete failure. Reid's failure was both unexpected and daunting. He found himself at a loss for the next course of action to take. It was in this moment of uncertainty that he discovered the idea of co-founding LinkedIn. Reid worked on LinkedIn as though his life depended on it. Soon, his hard work paid off. Today, LinkedIn is exceedingly successful, and Reid Hoffman has also expanded his investment into other networks like PayPal and Airbnb. Whenever we set out to achieve a goal, we should always brace ourselves for failure. Failure isn't proof that you haven't done your best, but evidence that you are making an attempt. Every entrepreneur encounters failure at different points in their lives, but only those who have learned not to be defeated by failures will triumph. Dalai Lama said, when something bad happens to you, you have three choices. You can either let it define you, let it destroy you, or let it strengthen you. Failure is an example of something bad that happens to us all the time. In the event of failure, we often feel like we cannot go. But we all have the capacity to survive failure and even succeed again, if only we would start believing in ourselves. Robert Greene said, the greatest test of courage on earth is to bear failure without losing heart. Failure can also mean that one needs to reevaluate their plans and fix the things that they have not gotten right. Napoleon Hill said, when failure comes, accept it as a signal that your plans are not sound. Rebuild those plans and set sail once again towards your coveted goal. Reid Hoffman failed utterly, but did not allow that failure to define him. This is the secret to his subsequent success.